So can cold showers or cold exposure harm your strength gains? Well, the first time I heard about this was from Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Shout out Rhonda Patrick. And she talked about this research behind, cold exposure for within 4, I think, hours at the time. I think now it might have been updated to 6 hours, but 4 hours after, within 4 hours, you don't want to be exposed to cold because it can actually stunt some of the strength gains, not all of them, but some of the strength gains. And so what I want to talk about is why that can happen. And I might give you some benefits of the cold as well, but I want to talk about, again, the potential harms that it can have when we're talking about post-workout cold exposure. So I made another video about staying warm, and I talked about this as well, but I just want to expand on, why the cold might not be the best thing for you. So if you're lifting weights and you're pumping blood to the muscles, we want to try to keep that active as much as we can. I've learned from trainers and bodybuilders, hey, you actually want to spike insulin. If you want to build muscle, you want to spike insulin. Most of the time, spiking insulin is bad for your blood sugar, but we want, because insulin shuttles the blood, the sugar, the substrate, whatever's in your blood, into the muscle cell. Well, when you have type 2 diabetes or you have insulin resistance, it doesn't go into the muscle cell anymore, it goes into your fat cells, so that's not good. But what we want, where it actually doesn't go into your cells, it goes into, it stays in your bloodstream, and that can be problematic for your body. But when we're building muscle, we want things to shuttle into your muscle. That's the whole point of strength training, to build the muscle, to get stronger. We want things going into the muscle. So if I get cold, what happens? The blood goes away from the periphery, it goes out. I talked about that. We want to keep blood pumping to the periphery. When you're cold, it goes from the periphery into your central, into the organs. It protects the most vital things in your body, your heart, your liver, your lungs, all these things inside, okay? So if we want to maximize our time from the gym, after you work out, I talked about this, stay warm. Always have a sweatshirt, always have a jacket, always have something, to keep yourself warm. If you're in extreme conditions, I had a whole get up on, right? Beanie and gloves and all that. Why? Because we want to try to extend the amount of time that blood is pumping out into the periphery of your body. When you go into cold, everything does the reverse. It goes away. That's why you get frostbite, okay? Because where does frostbite happen? On your fingers and your toes, because it's going to go away from the outside and it's going to travel in. The blood is going to travel in. So we want to try to keep things pumping to the periphery. And again, you're going to have to do that by staying warm. So when should you take your cold showers? Well, I take them every morning. I made another video about how that helps me spiritually. It helps me in another sense, but I'm going to talk about the physiology behind why cold might be good. But again, I would do that away from workouts or pre-warm up. So if I'm taking a cold shower, I'm going to then make sure that I get my body warmed up again so that then I work out. I'm not just going to jump straight into exercise, and I'm not going to do it after I exercise. So I like to do it straight off in the morning. It really wakes me up. It gets the breath going, because you have to take those deep breaths at first. And then I kind of surrender to the cold, and that's a reminder to me to surrender to God's will. So other than that, what are the physiological effects that are beneficial? Because I'm sure you've heard cold showers are good for you. In context of lifting weights, they're not good for you post-workout if you want to maximize your gains. But why would they be good for you? Well, the cold exposure is good for you. Cryotherapy, ice baths, cold tub, cold showers, whatever you can get your hands on, they're good for you because they allow you to turn on these basically ancient, not that ancient, but old systems in your body that allowed us to be more resilient. Our whole immune system becomes more robust when we're exposed to these things through things called cold shock proteins. That's like the basic name. I'm sure there's more scientific name, but just in general, again, we're much more general on this channel, is your body, we didn't have central heating and air conditioning and all of this ability to stay warm in the past. Our physiology had to be able to warm itself up. And these things called mitochondria that are in the cells, that are like the powerhouses of the cells, they use oxygen for energy. And when you are exposed to cold, your body starts turning on more of this mitochondria. If you've heard of brown fat, why is brown fat brown? Well, it's because they have more mitochondria. Mitochondria under a microscope is brown. So when you start turning these things on, your body ends up being able to produce more energy at a more efficient rate. Your immune system is more robust. Because a lot of it has to do with these mitochondria, because again, you're more efficient with your cells. You're able to use oxygen more efficiently. So there's tons of benefits with your immune system, with your energy, with your cardio. That's something I noticed with my kickboxing. I beat this guy up, and I was like, man, I can go for a lot longer now with my cardio without being gassed. And I mean, I'm going all out. So there's tons of benefits to doing something like a cold exposure, cold shower, cold ice bath, cryotherapy on the regular. But again, if you want to maximize strength and muscle gains, I would leave that towards a pre-warm up way before you ever do it, or first thing in the morning. And that's just something that I do for a spiritual benefit, but I'm getting all of these physiological benefits as well. It's also good for skin. It can tighten up skin in certain areas of your body if you have, more loose skin, because again, everything shunts away from that periphery and allows you to, get into the central to protect. So great benefits from the cold. But again, if you're thinking I need to maximize my strength and my muscle gains, stay warm post-workout, 4 to 6 hours. Make sure you don't go into an extreme cold really quickly. When you leave the gym, make sure you have something on, okay? Always prepare so that even if you're in cold for 5 minutes, the example that I talked about is, hey, you're warm after workout, you've got a tank top on, right? And you go eat and you're just hanging out. And by the time you're eating, that warmth from your exercise, your body temperature's up, you're not going to feel that the blood is now pumping from outside in because you're warm, right? Your body feels warm. So we want to try to stay extra warm so that we don't have that crossover to where by the time you feel cold, you might have already been depleting your gains for an hour if you're out sitting outside chatting with friends, and things like that. So stay warm, be prepared at all times, and use the cold exposure for some of those other benefits that you can get. But again, your timing is essential. And if you really want to get detailed in this, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Found My Fitness is, I think, her channel. She's the expert. That's what I got on this. She's done a ton of looking at meta-analysis and data and stuff like that. So that's where I first learned it years and years ago. But she's got more detailed information, more science. Again, I'm more general here, just giving you some tips and some ways to navigate your fitness and life journey. Thank you.